It's time for the League LowDown! Welcome back, Insiders. Life's been crazier than a linebacker blitz since week 6, and we're very sorry for the hiatus, but we're storming back week 8 like a punt returner with a clear lane. I'm Coach Mayhem, joined by my partner in crime. He's got more Suburban One football intel than a scout sleeping in the bleachers. Give it up for the one, the only, SOI's OG.
Hey, Mayhem. I'm back and ready to tackle this week's chaos. Let's dive into week 7 madness and preview the fireworks coming up to week 8.
Yes, sir. Buckle up. Let's roll.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, CDS Wealth Management. Growing generational wealth through college and retirement planning shouldn't be complicated. At CDS Wealth Management, rest assured that you are more than a client. You are a foundation for a legacy to be built upon. Allow our team to cater to your family's legacy by starting with a free consultation at www.cdswealth.com.
Lower Moreland outlasted Marsville 22-14 in a gritty one last week. North Penn punched their ticket at 6A playoffs for the 6A playoffs with a 28-7 smackdown of CB South. Matt Bucksar was a one-man highlight reel, as he's been a lot this season, tossing 2 TD passes, running for another, and racking up 197 yards in the air. Council Rock South steamrolled Harry Truman 42-7, while Upper Moreland sent William Tennent packing with a 44-7 beatdown.
Cheltenham turned Council Rock North into a speed bump, robbing them 51-12. CB East made Abington wish they stayed home, winning 49-7. And New Hope Soulbury handed Renaissance Academy a 26-15. Probably with some fancy footwork.
All right, upset alert last week. PW stunned previously unbeaten Wissahickon 33-27 with a little overtime. So much for my bold prediction from a few weeks ago. I guess I'm eating crow on that one. Hatboro-Horsham bulldozed Springfield Township 34-14 with Ty Teasley running for 321 yards. Did he leave any grass on that field? I doubt it. Meanwhile, Souderton crushed Ben Salem 56-13 thanks to Ben Walsh, who slung 286 yards of passing, 3 TDs with an 81% completion rate. That's video game kind of stuff.
Woo! Man. Upper Dublin brought the Thunder against Quakertown 42-28. George Stein, or Steen, hopefully I'm not saying that incorrectly, was a human battering ram, OG. Rushed 30 times for 242 yards and 3 scores. QB Lawson Taylor was surgical. He completed 80% of his passes for 144 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, Shane Greenberg racked up 12 tackles like he was collecting Pokemon cards out there. CB West moved to 5-2 after they edged Pennsbury 17-7. And in my game of the week, the Pennridge Rams stayed perfect at 7-0, outlasting Neshaminy 14-7 in a classic Suburban One National Conference defensive slugfest. And I want to let you know, that's their best start since 1964, back when bell bottoms were cool and I wasn't even a twinkle in my pop's eyes yet.
All right, huge shout out to the Rams for keeping that goose egg in the loss column. Last week, I sat down with Coach Beller, quarterback Noah Keating, and Princeton commit Ryan Rowe to talk about what's changed from the past 2 seasons for this undefeated run, how they prep for that huge win against North Penn, and what's next on the road ahead. I grilled Noah on his wisdom. He soaked it up from his legendary Ram QB family. Talk about pressure. And I got Ryan to spill the wild ride of switching from offense to defense. Let's roll that clip.
I think the turnaround is just really what we've been building for the last, 2 years going to year 3. Since we got here, starting in the weight room, building with the young kids, the sophomores that are now seniors, gaining each other's trust, just learning the offense, defense, special teams system, and really the process that we go through every week, hasn't changed from week one to now, even though we're winning, this year. So right now, I think it's just things are clicking. We're a little bit older. We were young last 2 years playing, and we're playing well as a football team right now. I don't know if we did anything differently than we always do. Preparation kind of stays the same week in and week out. Some things we talked about it. We knew the magnitude of the game, so we definitely talked about it. We talked about the moment not getting too big. We don't want to play tight, just go have fun. Coach Hollenbach brought out a 2004 game and showed them some of that from the old Poppy Yoder Field, and Coach Cressman and some of his plays from that game. So they had fun with that. And I think that's the best thing we did. We just kept it light. It was another football game. We understood it. We understood the team we were playing, but we had some fun with it. We're going to approach this game like we do every other game. We're going to go prepare, to the best of our ability there, to the standard that we're trying to create here on a weekly basis. And we're going to go play the football, hopefully, the way we're playing right now and how we want to play. And, like every week we'll see the chips lay and we'll get ready week by week of our opponents. And we have some very good opponents coming up the second half of the season.
Okay. Just my grandpa, he's always been super involved. Now he's like the OC, so that's huge. My uncle is a little bit farther away, but he always he texts me after games and he helps me know what I'm doing, helps me go through reads. So both of their attention has been really helpful the last couple of years.
Yeah, so obviously starting both ways takes a lot of energy, and especially in such a good league. So really it's just about hydrating the night before, eating a lot of good foods the day of, and just being as ready as possible for when the moment comes. So that's really all it is.
All right, OG. Where's the action headed for week 8?
A lot of great games this coming week. We're going to start out. CB South hunts for a 500 record as they host Abington. Ben Salem treks to Council Rock North, hoping to avoid another rough road trip. CB East welcomes Neshaminy, and undefeated Pennridge rolls into historic War Memorial Field to face the Bucks of CB West, who are 5-2, and we're really talking about a heavyweight clash right here.
Dang, I wish I was going to that one. All right, Upper Dublin takes on Cheltenham in a battle of wills. Both teams looking to get back to 500. Quakertown hits the road to Harry S. Truman, probably praying for no traffic. And Hatboro-Horsham hosts William Tennent. Here's hoping they bring some extra Gatorade.
All right, New Hope Solbury's heading to Jenkintown. Don't miss the light. You might go right through Jenkintown and wind up in the city. Lower Moreland welcomes Sun Valley. And 5-2 Upper Moreland squares off against 6-1 Wissahickon in a matchup that's got upset written all over it.
Yes, it does. And in my game of the week, Plymouth Whitemarsh faces Springfield Monco in an American Conference showdown. That's going to be spicier than halftime nacho plate there. PW knocked off undefeated Wissahickon last week, and after winning their first 3 games, Springfield has dropped 3 straight. So that's going to be a crazy one, man.
All right, hold up. Let's take a timeout on the field. Let's take a water break, hear from our sponsors, and don't spill your Gatorade.
Want to see more of your game insiders? Check out the link galleries of DAHC images, photos by Tom, and Trisha Lynn photography by finding your power-packed action shots at www.suburbanoneinsider.com.
Welcome back, insiders. Time for OG's main event. The administrator with all the knowledge, dropping history like it's 4th and goal stand. It's OG's history lesson.
All right, everybody. We're getting towards the end of the season. So I wanted to take some time to think about some of the traditions that happen around the SOL. In my playing days, in my coaching days, and being involved in athletics, and football around the SOL for all these years, I thought about top 5 traditions that I really, really enjoy when I go to watch other games. Number 1, the Hill. The Hill at William Tennent. So you get dressed in the locker room up above the stadium, and you have to walk down, it's typically 2 by 2, with your teammates as you go down to get ready for the game. Now, that's not just a beautiful view when you're standing there looking down at those Friday night lights, but it's a daunting task for that visiting team, because you're going to walk through all the fans and get yourself out on that field ready to go. Number 4 for me, the Owls Landing. I love how pseudo-Clemson-like the Owls go down to the one end zone at the scoreboard end prior to the game, and they come running down that hill as they come out to the field for their introductions. I love the alma mater at the end of a game. I know at Pennridge they do it. I know there's some other schools, but it's a great tradition that after the handshakes and the coaches talk, the teams go over to their band and listen to the alma mater for the school. Now, it just reminds me of the Army-Navy game, because the winner always gets to sing second, but it's an awesome, awesome tradition and makes Friday nights pretty special. I love the entrances. When I was the announcer at CB South, we tried to spice things up and do team or individual offense or defense introductions. But I think when you go to North Penn, Crawford Field on a Friday night, maybe it's their homecoming in their student section, it's bigger than everybody else's just because they have more kids. But they come running out through that huge banner from down in the end zone with 100+ kids, and they're going towards their bench and their fans. It's pretty intimidating being out there. My favorite tradition is one that's kind of gone away, but I grew up in the era of the East-West football game on Thanksgiving morning. And what would happen is at the start of the game, when the captains would go out for the coin toss, all the players for both teams would head out to the numbers. So there'd be 2 long lines standing behind their captains. Once the direction was picked and who was getting the ball, both teams would come together for a handshake. Now, it meant a lot back in those days in Doylestown and Buckingham, because you got to know those guys. You played other sports with them through rec league and things like that. You grew up with those guys. And so you got to go and take that handshake. Now, fast forward to when I was a coach there, we didn't play on Thanksgiving, but we continued that tradition. And I'll tell you what, from a coach's perspective, it's relatively scary, because you don't know who's going to say something stupid to the other guy, and who knows what could break out before a game. But it is an awesome tradition, and I'm sure there's millions of other ones that I maybe haven't seen yet, but as I go to games, I appreciate those moments. I love the tradition. I embrace change as a human being. I truly, truly do. But those long-lasting events make memories forever.
You nailed it, my friend. My fondest tradition that's still dear to my heart was the Upper Moreland Hatboro-Horsham Thanksgiving Day game as well. That lasted 84 years. The first game was played in 1935 and sadly came to an end in 2019. I was privileged and honored to play in 4 of those games from 1999 to 2003, which we won 3 out of 4. But that's all we have for this week on the League Lowdown. Good luck to all our teams out there. I'm Coach Mayhem.
And I'm OG. Insiders out.